Rain, rain, go away. The sky looked bruised, swollen with dark clouds that pressed down on the small town of Hollow Creek. The rain had started as a drizzle that morning, but by nightfall it was a steady downpour, pounding the rooftops like drums. Tommy, 12, and his little sister Emma, 7, were alone in their creaky old house. Their parents had gone out to get emergency supplies, promising to be back before the worst of the storm hit. But now the worst was here, and their parents were nowhere to be seen. The power had gone out hours ago. The house groaned under the weight of the storm, and the flashlight in Tommy's hand flickered, casting long, nervous shadows on the walls. Emma sat by the foggy window, her knees pulled to her chest, staring out into the sheets of rain that blurred the world beyond. She rocked slightly, her small voice soft and eerie as she sang, "Rain, rain, go away, come again another day." She sang it over and over, her voice barely louder than the rain tapping against the glass. Tommy didn't like it. The song made the dark feel darker. "They'll be back soon," Tommy muttered, more to himself than to Emma. His voice felt thin, swallowed by the storm. Then, cutting through the noise, they heard it. Knock, knock, knock. Not on the front door. At the back door, Tommy stiffened. His parents had keys. They wouldn't knock. He grabbed the flashlight tighter and crept toward the door, Emma's singing fading into silence behind him. The beam of light jittered with each step he took. When he reached the door, he hesitated, his breath fogging the cold glass of the small window above the handle. Then he heard it, soft, almost like an echo of Emma's song. "Rain, rain, go away." A child's voice, but not right. It was sing-songy and slow, the words dragging like something heavy being pulled across the floor. Tommy swallowed hard and shined the flashlight through the window. Standing just beyond the door was a little boy, maybe 8 years old. His skin was pale, almost gray, soaked from the rain, and his clothes hung off him like rags. But it was his eyes that froze Tommy in place, pitch black like polished stones reflecting nothing. The boy smiled. It was too wide, stretching his face in a way that made Tommy's stomach twist. "Rain, rain, go away." The boy sang again, louder this time. Emma had crept up behind Tommy, her voice a shaky whisper. "Tommy, who is that?" Tommy didn't answer. He locked the door. The boy's smile faded, his head tilted to the side like he was studying them through the glass. Then, bang! He slammed his small fists against the door, the sound sharp and sudden. The flashlight flickered. Tommy grabbed Emma's hand and ran upstairs. They could still hear the boy's voice, faint but following them. "Rain, rain, go away." They barricaded themselves in their bedroom, shoving a dresser against the door. Tommy turned off the flashlight. Darkness swallowed them whole, except for the occasional flash of lightning outside. That's when they heard it again. Tap, tap, tap. At the window, the second-story window. Emma screamed. Tommy snapped the flashlight back on, aiming it at the glass. The boy was there, but he wasn't standing. He was floating, his face pressed against the window, black eyes wide and unblinking, mouth stretched into that same unnatural grin. His fingers tapped the glass in time with his chant. "Rain, rain, go away." The window began to rattle as if the boy was shaking it without touching it. The glass fogged up from the inside, though there was no breath near it. Tommy yanked Emma into the closet. They huddled in the dark, hearts racing, listening. The chanting grew louder. "Rain, rain, go away." Then they heard the bedroom door creak open, but they had locked it. The dresser had been pushed aside. Footsteps, soft, wet footsteps, squelching against the floorboards. Closer, closer. The closet door creaked. A small, pale face peeked through the crack, black, empty eyes staring right at them. "Rain, rain, go away." The next morning, when the storm had passed and the floodwaters receded, rescue teams found the house empty. No sign of Tommy or Emma. But on the bedroom wall, scrawled in dripping black letters, was a single phrase: "Rain, rain, go away."
Ethan preferred video games to friends. He liked the dark silence of his room. School was a chore, a necessary evil to get to the next level of his game. One rainy Saturday, he was rummaging through the attic. Cobwebs clung to his face. Dust motes danced in the single beam of light from his flashlight. He stumbled upon a wooden box, tucked away in a corner. Inside, nestled in faded velvet, lay a Ouija board. Its planchette rested on the board, its eerie glass eyes staring up at him. He felt a chill. Intrigued, he took the game back to his room. That night, alone in the dim glow of his computer screen, the Ouija board beckoned. Ethan hesitated. He placed his fingertips lightly on the planchette. "Is anyone there?" he whispered, his voice echoing in the silence. The planchette twitched. Ethan's breath caught in his throat. Slowly, it began to move, gliding across the board. ALEX. Alex. The name hung in the air. Ethan felt a strange thrill course through him. He wasn't alone. They talked for hours that night. Alex told Ethan about being trapped, about needing a friend. Ethan, starved for connection, felt a bond forming. He wasn't lonely anymore. He had Alex. Their nightly conversations continued. But Alex was becoming demanding. He wanted to talk longer, more often. He became jealous of Ethan's video games, of his sleep. One night, Ethan tried to end their session early. "I have school tomorrow," he said, his hand on the planchette. The planchette wouldn't budge. It felt like it was glued in place. Suddenly, the lights flickered. His computer screen went black. "Alex?" Ethan whispered, fear creeping into his voice. A low growl seemed to emanate from the board itself. Ethan ripped his fingers away as if burned. He didn't touch the board for days. But strange things continued to happen. He heard whispers when he was alone. He saw shadows moving in the corners of his eyes. Ethan couldn't ignore the board forever. He needed to appease Alex. He sat down, fear a knot in his stomach. "Let's play a game, see," the board spelled out. "Tic-tac-toe." Ethan hesitated, then agreed. Fear was quickly replaced by curiosity and dread. They took turns moving the planchette. X's and O's filled an old notepad. Ethan's hand trembled as Alex once again. Suddenly, the planchette flew across the room. Deep scratches appeared on the board, as if carved by unseen claws. Ethan cried out, scrambling back. The room grew cold. The air crackled with energy. Ethan felt a searing pain, like claws digging into his flesh. He screamed. The next morning, Ethan's parents found him. He was sprawled on the floor, eyes wide with terror, his body covered in deep, unexplained scratches. The Ouija board rested on the desk, planchette perfectly positioned on the letter Y, waiting for the next game to begin.